Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm out in the field doing some more macro photography and it's currently 5 AM. As you can see, there's a nice sunrise over there. And I found my first subject already. It's a ladybird larvae on this leaf here. And there's quite a few others around here too. But I don't think I'm going to photograph it right now just because it's not going to move anywhere. So I've got all the time in the world to photograph that. So I'll find something else that's worth photographing. And then I might come back to this later on. There's also a load of wasps in this tree. Probably can't see it on camera, but they're all flying around. So I could potentially find one just chilling on a leaf around here. And if I do, I'll get a photo, but if not, I'll probably leave it because they're a nightmare to photograph when they're flying around like crazy. So I've just scanned a lot of these leaves and I found a ladybird, and it's really cold right now, so I don't think it's going to be moving around much. I'm not sure what this ladybird is. All I know is that it's got 4 orange spots on it and it's black. And I've never really photographed a ladybird like this, or I probably have, but not in a long time. So I thought I'd get a photograph. I wasn't actually going to photograph this ladybird just because I've got quite a lot of ladybird shots in the past, and ladybirds are quite common. But I thought I'd photograph it just to warm up and get used to using my camera. I'm going to photograph this all the way at 2 times magnification because it is quite a small ladybird. And I'm going to try and get my composition as low down as possible to get my lens eye level with the ladybird. Right now I'm holding the leaf that the ladybird's on to make it a lot easier to get stable and get this shot. And I'm resting my lens on the end of my fingers that are holding the leaf. This means I can get a really stable shot and I can easily focus bracket from the front to the back of the ladybird. So what I'm going to do is focus just before the ladybird's in focus and then press my shutter button to start my focus bracket. That was a very nice and easy shot, and luckily the eyes were visible because sometimes the ladybirds tuck their eyes inwards when they're resting, which means you can't see their eyes. I've just found a damselfly chilling on the end of this grass here, and because I've came out really early in the morning when it's a lot colder, that means the damselfly is a lot less likely to fly away. So as you saw, the damselfly was quite nestled in the grass there, and it would be really hard to photograph by just sticking my camera in there because I'd end up knocking the grass around and it'd probably end up making the damselfly drop to the floor. So to avoid that, I'm going to be using these helping hands, and all I'm going to do is clip one of the helping hands onto the grass that the damselfly is on and then snip it below the crocodile clip. And then with the other hand, I can either use a background or just not use it at all. These are very useful for early morning macro photography when subjects aren't really moving around as much because they're cold. And if you're wondering what this helping hand is called, it's the Koto helping hand. I'll leave a link to it down below in the description along with the rest of my gear. Alright, I've got the damselfly. I'm just going to put my helping hand on the floor and then reposition the arms to how I like them. The sun has just started to rise now. It's just gone above the horizon and it looks really nice, so I think I'm going to use that in the background rather than using a background card. So I'm not going to be using the second helping hand. I've just pushed that down to the floor, and yeah, we'll try and get a nice composition now. I'm not going to be able to get a face on portrait here because the piece of grass is blocking the face of the damselfly. So I'm going to have to go for a slight side angle here, but I should be able to get a nice shot nonetheless. Luckily there's zero wind right now, so it makes it a lot easier to get this shot. I'm going to have to be really careful when getting this shot because I'm using a slow shutter speed of 1/100, and usually the flash would freeze the motion, but right now the sun is a lot brighter than my flash, which means that I might see the effects of the slow shutter speed. The good thing about shooting with the sun behind your subject is that you get a really nice edge light. So right now the sunlight is outlining the whole damselfly, which looks really cool. And I'm using my flash just to fill in the shadows. So let's focus just before anything's in focus, and then we'll press our shutter button to start our focus bracket. While I've got all this set up, I think I'm going to get a second shot, and I think I'm going to go for a direct side angle for this next shot. I'm actually going to get a third shot because I cut a bit of the grass off at the top and then the damselfly wiggled around a little bit, and now I can see the face a lot better, so I should be able to get a nice close-up portrait. I'm going to use a background card for this shot, and the damselfly is a little bit blue, so I'm going to be using this red sort of gradient card I've got here. I'm just going to clip it onto my second helping hand, and I can maneuver that however I like then. I'm really happy with that shot. When I first found the damselfly, I really didn't think I'd get a portrait, but managed to get one in the end, and I'm really happy with it. Now I'm finished getting a photo. I'm actually going to put the damselfly back where I found it, and it's a bit hard to do this while holding the camera with one hand, so I'll just put this on the tripod and show you me putting the damselfly back. There it is, and I'm just going to put it roughly back where I found it. So I clipped it from over here. Obviously the grass is cut now, so I'm just going to have to kind of place it on the ground roughly, or place it onto another piece of grass. There's good. It's resting on some grass, and a damselfly can move onto another piece of grass now. So I'm currently in search of my next subject, and I'm really struggling to find something to photograph. I have seen a few things like some regular looking flies, some common beetles, ladybirds, stuff like that, but I usually don't bother photographing them unless I'm desperate, because I find them all the time. I'm hoping to find either a dragonfly or another damselfly, because they're really hard to photograph midday, almost impossible to get a focus stack midday, just because of how active they are, which is why I come out early in the morning, because it's a lot colder, which means they're less likely to move around because they're cold-blooded, and that means it's a lot easier to get a portrait or a focus stack. So yeah, hopefully I can find another damselfly, or maybe even a dragonfly. I've just found another small blue damselfly, and the sun has came out quite a bit now, which means the damselfly is going to start warming up, and it potentially might fly away. So I've got to act quite quick here, because yeah, it could fly away. I'm going to use my helping hands here to grab the piece of grass that it's on, and then use my scissors to cut the piece of grass off. There we go, we've got the damselfly. Now I'm just going to place the helping hand plate on the floor where it's shaded. Don't want any sunlight on it. And then we can use the other helping hand to place a background. This one seems to have a lot more dew on its eyes, so at least there's something different from the last photo I got. Because the damselfly is blue, I'm going to be using yellow background, and yellow directly contrasts blue, so it should be a nice colour to use for the background. A lot of the time when getting photos, I'll sit down or lie down. It just makes it a lot easier to get stable. The damselfly is currently wiping the dewdrops off its eyes using its hands. And I'm just going to have to wait a minute, because if I'm focus bracketing and the subject is moving, then when it comes to stacking later on, I'm going to have loads of inconsistencies, and it's going to be an absolute mess. So when you're focus bracketing, you need to make sure that your subject doesn't move at all, and yeah, then you'll be good when you focus stack later on. Having said that, you can get away with some slight movement. Say if only a couple frames the subject moved, then you can probably get away with that when it comes to focus stacking later on. But if the subject is moving around a lot, then yeah, you're pretty much not going to be able to focus stack that later on. It took a bit of patience to get that shot there, but I think it turned out well in the end, and I'm very happy I stuck around to get that shot. Now I'm finished photographing the damselfly. Like usual, I'm going to unclip the bit of grass that the damselfly's on, and then put the damselfly back where I found it. And I found it just over here, I think. So yeah, we'll just place it on some grass, and it can move on to another piece of grass if it wants to. I'm now just in the river looking for some subjects, and it's been really dry and hot recently, which probably explains why the water's quite low compared to usual. And also the bushes and stuff have grown a lot, so if you've watched my other videos, you might notice a difference. But yeah, as you can see, the river's a lot narrower because the bushes have grown out. Yeah, I haven't been here in probably a month, just over a month or something, and yeah, it's grown a lot. So hopefully there's some more subjects as well. But so far I haven't seen too much. I'm hoping to find a damselfly, not the small ones, the big ones, because I see a lot of those in the river here. That's usually where I find them. I managed to find a damselfly, but yeah, as you can see, this one is dead. And it's not very photogenic, so I don't really fancy photographing a crumpled up pile of limbs. So I'm going to leave that. And yeah, while I was actually here though, I did find another damselfly, and this one is alive. You can probably see it right there. It is moving around a little bit, so it might be difficult to photograph. Not sure if I'll get shot, but we'll give it a go. So that brown green coloured damselfly actually flew away just as I went to go grab it, which is unfortunate. But I've actually found quite a few more off camera, and a few of them flew away, but I managed to find one that is somewhat cooperative. I managed to snip a bit of grass out of the river with the damselfly on and carry it out here. I put it on my helping hand here. As you can see, I've got the grass actually on here. But as I went to get a photo, it flew and landed right here. So I'm actually going to get a photo of it now before it flies away again. And yeah, hopefully I can actually get a good shot. I'm really happy that shot turned out well in the end. I wasn't even sure I was going to get a shot at first because the damselfly flew away and then it started moving around on that piece of grass it flew to. It was just an absolute nightmare. But that's a perfect example of why you should come out really early in the morning. I mean, I've come out just as the sun has started to rise, but you can come out even earlier if you want a few more hours where the bugs are less active. Because the sun has started to come out quite a bit now, it's getting higher in the sky. That's warmed up all the damselflies and they've started to be a lot more active, which explains why that damselfly and a lot of the other damselflies are moving about a lot more now. And now I'm finished photographing that damselfly. I'm just going to leave it on the blade of grass that it flew to because it seems quite happy there. And I'll show you right now. It's literally just chilling there, not moving. Oh, I was about to say it's not moving around much, but I just scared it off and now it's flew to this bush over here. I'll quickly show you it. There it is. So yeah, you've got to be really careful when photographing anything really, any sort of subject, because any slight movement or you might tap it accidentally and then yeah, it'll fly away, just like you saw there. At the start of the video I said I'd probably come back to photograph a ladybird larvae, but I've just found a much more interesting scene. I've found a ladybird larvae with an actual ladybird next to it, and I think this just has more story to it because you can see the larvae and then what the larvae turns into. So yeah, this is a lot more interesting of a shot. And currently the ladybird is staying perfectly still, so I could get a focus bracket. I think I'll go for a single shot first, but we'll see what we can get. I'm really happy with that shot. It's a bit different to my other macro shots where I get very close up and show a lot of detail. But I think it's nice to have a shot that has some story in it, like that one I just got there. When I first started photographing it, I thought I'd get a single shot at f13. And then I changed my mind and I thought I'd get a focus bracket. So I used f11 and went for a sort of top-down angle to show both the larvae, or is it a pupae? Might be a pupae. The larvae or pupae next to the ladybird. I've just found a big beetle climbing to the top of this grass here, and before it drops to the ground or flies away, I'm quickly going to get a photo. I was just about to get a better composition and then the beetle dropped to the ground, so that's a bit unfortunate, but I did manage to get a shot. I think one of them was in focus. So yeah, that is an important thing with macro. You want to make sure you just get one shot in focus before you do anything else, because you could lose the subject, it could fly away, could drop to the ground. So yeah, you've got to be quick. And I'm not too sure what that beetle was. It looked a bit like a click beetle and a ground beetle mixed together. So if you have any ideas what that beetle was, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, I'm going to end today's video here. I got quite a lot of good shots today. Generally set out to photograph damselflies, and I did photograph quite a few. So very happy with today's macro walk. And as always, all the gear I used in today's video will be linked down below in the description. And those are affiliate links, so if you buy through them, I'll get a small commission and no extra cost to you, which will help support the channel. But with that said and done, I'm going to end today's video here. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.